Hawaii, the state of clean energy, is a series of programs made possible through production funding from Hawai'i Energy, your conservation and efficiency program, Hawaiian Electric Company, supporting a clean energy future for Hawaii, the State Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism State Energy Office, moving Hawaii toward a clean energy future, the State Department of Labor and Industrial Relations Green Jobs Initiative, working together for a skilled green workforce, and the University of Hawaii Natural Energy Institute, researching renewable energy technologies.
I have to take my hat off to the UH system and the community college system. I think it's crucial that the educational system gets involved in training manpower for a trend that is no longer in the future. 2.5 years ago, Linda Lingle, Hawaii Department of Energy, the Consumer Advocate, and the utilities signed a memorandum of understanding. They said, we want to have a very ambitious goal that made everyone very excited. But where I feel that we have a lot of work to do, it's in the policy that needs to be created, to be able to line up those goals with reality.
Policy does play a big role as Hawaii prepares to make significant strides towards energy independence and sustainability. Where do we start? The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act was put into law in February 2009 with $787 billion of stimulus funds. Hawaii received a substantial portion in a variety of grants. One in particular resulted in Hawaii's first green job survey.
There was a big void in terms of, from a labor market perspective, where were the jobs? What kind of training is required to fill these jobs? It needs to be something that's comprehensive, that's statistically sound in terms of information gathering. And so that was what this baseline assessment was for.
There was a 45% response rate from the more than 9,000 businesses surveyed.
A green job, aside from our categorization of the 5 core areas, it's essentially a job that has a positive impact on the environment and on energy sustainability. The deliverable was to find where are these green jobs, what kind of green jobs are they, and where in the state, in what counties are they located. Prior to this grant, there was no data. The Department of Labor has received $1.25 million specifically to undertake a green job survey, to do a baseline assessment, and then to do outreach in terms of translating those findings into actionable green workforce development strategies.
Another grant for $6 million is focused on green workforce training. The grant is administered via a partnership between the State Department of Labor and the UH system.
I think when the stimulus money came out, it allowed us the opportunity to look at different types of programs that we currently didn't have, and as a result, expand the portfolio of that type of training throughout the state.
Diverse training opportunities for the new green workforce are available through the state community college system. From an introduction to photovoltaic, to biofuel and biodiesel production, to advanced courses on deploying and sustaining a smart grid. The focus is on taking care of training needs today and staying ahead of the curve. How do they measure the success of all these efforts and programs?
I think for us, it's easy to tell you the deliverables. We have to train some 30 people with our smart grid curriculum. We've got it embedded into 4 new classes. With our CSEP, with the statewide energy sector partnership grant, the university is responsible for recruiting, training, and placing 200 people. That part's the easy part. I think for me, the way it's going to be successful is if we stop talking about the green economy and we start living a life where we're not having to ask people to pay $4 for a gallon of gas. I think when we start realizing that the politics of the game aren't what's important. What's important is how do we create an environment that we all benefit from.
The state agency taking the lead on our goal for energy independence is the State Energy Office, where efforts are spread over many initiative areas. They're optimistic there will be a surge in professional opportunities linked to Hawaii's green economy and workforce.
This movement towards clean energy also creates a lot of opportunities for our young people to stay at home. For instance, a case in point is my division. With the stimulus money, we created about 21 professional positions in our division. And we are also engaged with UH in their movement towards developing the green workforce for the future. The infusion of capital investments in the renewable market, that also gives us the opportunity to create more of these professional positions and jobs in our economy.
You can find the Hawaii Green Workforce Survey and more information on training available at Hawaii's community colleges. Go to the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum website. Here's the address for the direct link. We'll also post it at hawaiinewsnow.com. Please stay with us. We'll be right back with more from Hawaii, the state of clean energy.
When we talk about jobs, it's not going to come from one discipline or one sector. It's really that when we collectively in our society, in our community in Hawaii especially, realize the uniqueness in both our challenges and our opportunities, but we work together, across the disciplines and across the industries to say, we know we need to do it differently, we know we can do it better, and here's how we have a concerted effort, we combine our efforts and have a concerted focus to achieve that.
320 students are enrolled at the University of Hawaii School of Architecture at Manoa. Expectations are high for this new breed of architect who enters the profession equipped with a new knowledge base focused on sustainability, waste and energy conservation, and renewable energy design principles. Through collaboration with professionals in other fields, architects will play a key role in transforming the structural environments all around us.
We should be designing our buildings in ways that are more cooperative or positively interactive with the benign climate of Hawaii so that we can achieve a lower energy and really begin with this type of approach, set a new direction for building design in the 21st century. And that's what our students here are really deeply involved with. A number of us have been at this for a few years, and we've seen, now a couple of years ago you couldn't talk about climate change, and energy efficiency was only about saving dollars and not reducing the impacts of climate change. And here we are now. We have a greater, more compelling mandate because we're seeing the effects of, we're understanding these effects now as we go through the first decade of this century, and we know that we can't repeat the way we've been delivering the built environment from the last century. So I've been teaching for about 10 or 12 years, and watching students over that amount of time, I really feel so optimistic about the cohort that's in the universities now. Never before have we had the science that we've had now to understand the conditions that we're dealing with. And I don't think ever before I've seen a group of students, speaking of the larger cohort, that have been more educated in the knowledge of what we're actually dealing with, and more enthusiastic and more capable to deal with that and make a positive change. This is a chance for our students to not only have a leg up in the job market, but to be able to go out and affect this change, but also contribute in more significant ways as individuals and as practicing professionals and as informed citizens.
The School of Architecture at Manoa has earned an international reputation for its work in design for energy efficiency. Last year, a group of students from the Advanced Sustainable Systems class and students from the lab won first prize for their design of a home that relies heavily on passive design strategies that eliminate the need for mechanical air conditioning. That's quite a feat. Despite the warm climate, a New Orleans family will soon be living in this award-winning residence as part of that city's low-income housing recovery program. The UH design won over 350 other entries, and the students received their award at a Chicago conference in front of more than 25,000 people. Although architecture is not widely considered a green profession, these students know they'll be at the forefront of a movement rapidly gaining momentum.
Architecture is one of those endless educational professions. You're always learning something. So they might have an idea, but we know the tools and resources. So if they just give us the idea, I'm sure we could collaborate somewhere and come to a middle ground somewhere and really make something really innovative.
I have an unrelated bachelor's degree, and I took some time off and then decided to come back actually specifically for sustainable design. So for me, it was really exciting that the Sustainability Lab is here and Steve Meter working and all the work that he's doing within the community and all the projects going on. I thought that was just thrilling that I could have that opportunity.
My background is actually in psychology and product design, so when I came to architecture, it was very much with the intent of sort of focusing on the people aspect and the user's comfort inside the building. So the sustainability aspect really appealed to me. Not just buildings as a sculpture, but as sort of functional structures.
When I first came to school of architecture, I was really just thinking about designing beautiful buildings, right? And it became so much more greater than that. Just within the first year, I realized there's such greater purpose.
With so much confidence in their decision to become architects, do they have any concerns about selecting this professional path?
I think my greatest concern is when I go into the field is going to be about making things happen, because as an individual you're limited, right? So you have to be able to get other people involved in the whole process.
How can we as architects show the rest of the world that these things work? Everyone's sort of better served by doing it. And then at the state level, sort of what can we do to really speed up the process?
It seems to be that there is acceptance, but not a true acceptance. It's like, let's take it in because everyone's sort of doing kind of like a bandwagon type thing. I haven't really got a feeling from a whole lot of people that they're really believing into everything and what it really is about. So that's one of my biggest concerns. How do we get the old timers to really accept and really believe what all this stuff is about?
You know, I think legislation gets changed when when a society really cares about a certain subject, and the policy ends up showing the ethics of that society. And so really I'm hoping that we get to the place where we have public policy change, because I think that's a sign that we're really serious about making this effort, that we have to be more resource responsible.
We'll be right back with more from Hawaii, the state of clean energy.
Mahalo to Castle and Cook Renewable Energy for supporting this series of programs, Hawaii, the state of clean energy.
Definitely needs to be sealed, and where the air comes in is above. All this is sealed up with plywood all the way up, and then we foam them. Air comes in and spray foams all the joints, so there's no way that any air can get from the garage into the house.
According to the Hawaii Green Workforce Study, by 2012, more than 1/3 of the green jobs in Hawaii will be linked to the construction industry. LEED certification stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. This rating recognizes programs that implement strategies for better environmental and health performance. LEED is quickly becoming the benchmark for quality construction projects. We've just seen how the profession of architecture is changing as it adapts to new energy efficiency requirements. Today, many of Hawaii's most experienced construction workers are getting a new green education.
I've been hanging drywall for 17 years, and this is all I know, and pays my bills. Every day we learn something new on energy efficient.
I got my training on the site through reading research, so I learned it out here. There's much more detail that we need to pay attention to. We need to make sure that certain requirements are met, and we follow up on that. Okay, these are all sealed as well on the outside, because air can penetrate. We're determined to meet the requirements, and we want to do good at it. And we've been doing good at it. We've been successful at it, and we're trying to work to get better. I look at it as a challenge, and I accept it, and it's educational. Paper over that joint, and then we go over it again with the whole wrap of the house.
In the early days, we had to do more electrical, and so it's plumbing, electrical, and also there's roof work as well. So there's a wide range of skills you need. There's definitely a future in solar. So in the beginning I was just trying it out, but definitely you can see the future of solar. Everyone's getting in on the movement. It's exciting.
Energy efficient houses that we did out here. We insulated the hot and cold water. It's important to conserve and save energy. It holds the heat in the piping longer. Anything new, to broaden your horizon helps. Job security, and I think this is the way of the future, going green.
I think right now they're pretty excited about it, and the reason is because it is new technology coming out, and it's not the same boring stuff that we're used to, So that and being more energy efficient, being more green, environmentally friendly, I think that's a responsibility that we embrace and that we want to be a part of. And it's leading to more green jobs, more green energy jobs for us. Everybody's excited to go through that training.
Pacific Resource Partnership, or PRP, is a labor management partnership between the Hawaii Carpenters Union and contractors. Carpenters were involved in constructing the new wind farm site in Kahuku.
More importantly, as we go forward with the creation of a more sustainable Hawaii, and a Hawaii that helps create the infrastructure we need to create more renewable energy type projects, the construction industry members are going to be at the leading edge of that effort, particularly when it comes to building renewable energy producing complexes and facilities. You really need specialized training to be able to do many of those types of projects. And so those are efforts that we continue to provide training for.
Congress established the Military Housing Privatization Initiative as a tool to help the military improve the quality of life of its service members by improving base housing. Private companies now enter into very long-term contracts with the federal government to build, operate, and maintain base housing. These companies have strong motivation to follow LEED requirements rather than face a future of sustaining high energy costs. In Hawaii, large construction projects following LEED criteria are found on military bases. And the private sector, especially Hawaii's construction workers, are learning how to build for energy efficiency. Forest City Enterprises invited us to one of its sites at Marine Corps Base, Hawaii.
Because some of this commitment to the sustainability and energy efficiency and the air tightness of our homes, many of these are standards that are required in the LEED development. These are not necessarily skills that the workforce would have in their toolbox, so to speak. And so on our project, we brought in outside consultants to help us train up our workforce. I think the natural inclination on a proud workforce, which our companies are all very proud workforces, would be, well, we do good work. When we started this training scenario and we brought all the workers in and we brought their foremen in and we brought the owners of the companies in, and I think it became readily apparent that this is something new. This is something, we're raising the bar, so to speak. We know that our cost of energy to operate our neighborhoods is over 45% of the cost of operating our project right now. And that's just not sustainable over the long term. We are motivated. We are motivated to build efficient homes.
It's encouraging to see the connection between all these efforts. The green workforce training going on at community colleges, the UH students redefining a legacy profession now focused on sustainability, and construction workers learning to build homes where people can live comfortably without the burden of escalating energy costs. Please stay with us for Hawaii, the state of clean energy.
The reality of it is, if we do this right, it'll change the way we live, it'll change the way we operate, it'll change the way we do business, and we won't even know it. It's going to become a way of life. And I think that's really when you know you got the momentum.
When the wind is really whipping out here, these blades will spin at 20 rotations a minute. The giant turbines in the hills above Kahuku have been pumping power into Hawaiian Electric's grid since the middle of December with no hiccups.
People that are watching TV, 2 to 5% of the electricity that powers their television is coming from this wind farm.
First Wind, the company behind the project, used the last few months to fine-tune. It officially flips the switch tomorrow.
The more renewable energy we can generate, native energy that we can generate here, that much less we need to spend on importing fossil fuels such as oil and coal.
Hawaii News Now brought you that story in March. First Wind plans to put another North Shore Oahu wind farm online in the near future. And tonight, you heard local carpenters helped build the Kahuku facility. Sempra Generation and Maui Electric Company announced plans for a wind farm at the Ulupalakua Ranch on Maui, pending environmental and regulatory approval. Sempra says the Maui site will create about 150 local hires and serve 10,000 homes. Pacific Biodiesel is expanding and will be hiring staff for its new Big Island biodiesel facility. While working on tonight's show, we learned about another area that will require specialized workforce training. The car manufacturers will train their dealership mechanics to work on all these new models, such as hybrids and e-cars. But what about the independents? Who's training your favorite mechanic at your neighborhood garage? We'll follow up on that for you. With soaring gas prices at the pump and experts putting oil at $200 a barrel and gas in the islands at $6 a gallon within the next 5 years, don't miss our next show. It's all about transportation, alternative fuels such as biodiesel, e-cars, hybrids, hydrogen models, everything from buses to bicycles. As we strive to reach our goals for sustainability and clean energy, without a doubt, there are very real employment opportunities now and in the near future for Hawaii's people. But whether it's learning a brand new skill or keeping up with the latest demands of a lifelong profession, training must be made available. And from what we've seen tonight, the time for training Hawaii's green workforce is right now. We'll leave you tonight with more from our visit to Honolulu Community College. Maybe one of these student trainees will install your solar unit in the near future. I'm Terry Okita. On behalf of all of us here at Hawaii News Now and our partner, the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum, thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon. Aloha.
The meter itself, here's the load, feeding the bus bar, and then with a breaker, you connect to the loads. One of the reasons why I do this, besides passing along some of my experience in education, is because I strongly believe that change will happen through critical mass. And if all of a sudden, it's not only the PV industry saying, hey, attention to us, it's the unemployed workers, it's the educational system, it's the regulators, it's the legislatures. That's the critical mass that I'm talking about. All of a sudden, our opinion matters. And it matters for the good. It matters for the evolution of our state, the clean, sustainable evolution of our state. This new grid, the smart grid of the future that I talked about the first day, we're definitely not there yet, but these are the kind of discussions that we're having at the regulatory level to be able to have a system that works a little better together. We make sure that we identify the structure of the roof, then we draw our lines, then we make our marks, then we drill our holes, then we set the standoff. 8.1. Yeah. So 8.1 amps, we come up on the roof, right? And we side mount all these bolts. Can I get another hand here holding the panel, one on each side? Okay, so 32.6 volts. Suneye GPS or manual entry. The radiance has a critical component to system performance.
Hawaii, the state of clean energy, is a series of programs made possible through production funding from the University of Hawaii Natural Energy Institute, researching renewable energy technologies. The State Department of Labor and Industrial Relations Green Jobs Initiative, working together for a skilled green workforce. The State Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism State Energy Office, moving Hawaii toward a clean energy future. Hawaiian Electric Company, supporting a clean energy future for Hawaii. And Hawaii Energy, your conservation and efficiency program.